Hello, friends. Welcome back to episode 46 of the Cohesive Home Podcast. Today, Kate and I are going to chat about our fall routines, our homeschooling routines, and also our planners. It's so exciting. Stick around.
So, Melissa, you have just moved to Texas and you're getting settled in your apartment, right? Mm-hmm. How's that going?
Yep. It's going. No, it's going really good. We absolutely love it here. Fort Worth is surprisingly I don't know. It's surprising me. Let's just say it that way.
Really?
Yeah, it really is. Growing up in Oklahoma, Texas is always just Texas. And we've lived in Dallas before, and you just assume that Fort Worth would be just like Dallas, but it's not. It's kind of rolling hills and you've got TCU right here. And so it's really cool. We're really liking that aspect. We haven't gotten out and about too much, but our apartment complex is right on the river, and the kids are actually at the pool right now with their dad, and it's just nice. It's fun. The kids call it our hotel home. So
nice.
Yeah, we've unpacked most of the boxes, if not all of them, but we still have a lot of putting away and we kept unpacking stuff, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be a minimalist, right? Don't take away my card, please. Right. But it just feels like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a process, but it's good. It's really, really good.
But we talked on the phone about that, about how even though you feel like you have way too much stuff, the reality is, compared to most people, I think you're still very atypical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The fact that you are moving into an apartment with your family of 5,
mm-hmm.
right? And it's not the penthouse suite.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a normal apartment.
Yeah, and it's a 2-bedroom. We're moving up to 2 baths. Woohoo!
Oh
It's
my
a lap of
gosh.
luxury, let me tell you. So it's nice to us, and it's brand new. It's only a year old, and I like it. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm excited to see it. Well, I think what some of our listeners may be curious to hear about is what homeschooling and just life in general looks like in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some of you listening, you don't homeschool, or maybe you don't even have kids yet, but I think that this is applicable when we think about our spaces and how we use them as a family. So even if you're not homeschooling, you may be thinking about, how can I use the spaces in my home more efficiently? So, Melissa, what does that look like for you?
Well, we started this week with our homeschooling, our year, I guess you could say it that.
Yeah.
And I was really excited. We had some new curriculum. Probably one of the first times I've actually been committed to doing a curriculum, a couple different types, kind of mosh-poshing everything together. I actually did stories on my Instagram. So if you're interested to see what curriculums I'm using, it's on my Instagram stories, on the highlights. But for us, it's kind of the same as our house. We have our living room. We have a table that's kind of in the living room and kitchen, and then you have their bedroom. So we've been, our homeschooling curriculums are heavily literature based. And so for our English, I'll be working one-on-one with the kids. We are it's like a 20 minutes a day kind of a thing. It's called All About Reading. And so I do that individually with each child. And then either before or after that, we do our reading. So I read aloud to them our history from Bookshark, and that's either wherever the kids want to be. This week, we've done it mostly out in the living room, but one day we did it in their bedroom. So that's the kind of not having a huge home, it limits your ability to sprawl out, really. But I feel like it's easier just because you're all right here anyway. So I don't know. Does that kind of explain it or answer your question?
Yeah, no, I think that's helpful because, you know, some people may think that if they are interested in homeschooling, that they need a separate space, that they need a schoolroom, right? Like I think we've talked about that in previous episodes.
Yes, we did. We did.
And so I just thought that'd be helpful to touch on since neither of us have that.
I know. So that brings me to you, which, I say that we're in a cozy environment. You guys are tucked away in the woods right now in your camper. And how does homeschooling look for you? I mean, your kids are a little younger than mine. Your oldest is the same age as my youngest. And so how is that looking, having a baby underfoot and also to, I guess you have a preschooler and a first grader or second grader now?
Yeah, so she's second grade.
Yep, that's okay. That's
technically, if we were going by the school system. And it's actually been going very well. And I've probably talked about this before, but I definitely pushed school way too early and too fast with my oldest.
Yeah.
And kind of, I really burnt her out. And part of that was she just wasn't mature enough. She wasn't ready to begin schooling. And so we took a little bit of time off. And then we've really picked it back up in the last 6 months, especially since we got on the road. And it's been going great. So most days, we do about 30 to 45 minutes of language arts. So working on her reading skills and grammar and all of that. But I use The Good and the Beautiful, which is all in one. I like literally flip the book open and I just go to where we left off and it just tells me verbatim what to do. And we don't need a bunch of resources.
Right.
Like her worksheets are in that same book.
That's cool. I love that.
It's been, oh my gosh, it has been, she loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like all about reading.
Is it
literally
similar?
You open the book and it says, do this, do this, do this. And there you go.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that makes such a big difference. Yeah. So, other than The Good and the Beautiful for our language arts, we're doing some math, although we've been pretty much using Khan Academy. I would like to find like an actual math curriculum, but I haven't found one that I love yet. So, we're pretty much focusing on the basics, and we usually work on homeschooling when the 1-year-old, I want to call him my baby, but now he's
an actual,
he's getting, I know, he's a toddler. So we usually school while he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Because it's just, if he's awake, it is really hard.
That is,
But yeah, we just sit down together, my 4-year-old and my 7-year-old, and the 4-year-old she hangs out, she listens. I think she's absorbing a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
She just started writing the other day. I didn't tell you this.
Oh my gosh.
She started writing names. I mean, she needs help with the spelling, but I said to my husband, I was like, when did she start writing? So, it's just, it's that absorbent mind. They're just like little sponges.
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes, the homeschooling in a small space. It works. I mean, of course, I would love to have a big classroom in my home and a library full of books, but, we make do.
Yes, I know. I still need to check out our local library. I haven't even done that yet. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so within that small space, though, Kate, how are you staying organized? Because I can imagine things would kind of feel like you're on top of each other, especially if you have books out and all that.
Yeah. It can get a little chaotic, but I actually had Kirk build a shelf underneath our dinette.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to explain, so maybe I'll take some photos and we can put those up, I don't know, in our show notes or Instagram or something, because it's kind of cool. But we have space to store about 40 books.
Wow.
I'm serious. Yeah. It's probably 3.5 feet wide.
Wow.
And I just have it full of books. And so I've got all our homeschooling supplies. And so that really isn't that difficult, that whole aspect of it.
Yeah.
As for staying organized personally, I've gone back to my bullet journal. Mm-hmm. I know, guys, you're like listening. You're like, how many times are they going to do a planner episode? And the answer is often,
All the
yearly.
Yeah.
I guess we change our minds.
All the time.
I know, but you and I were talking about this the other day that for some reason I've tried so many planners and I don't like feeling boxed in with the template that's in them.
Yeah. You want to be free.
I'm a free spirit. I don't know that I really am as much as I have a little bit of a rebel personality.
Yeah.
And so I just like the bullet journal because then I can create my own weekly calendar.
Yeah, it's so funny because I'm the opposite. So I am still just like tried and true doing my paper
Yes.
planner. Actually got the, what is it called? Oh, Day Designer. From Whitney English, who is actually an Oklahoma native.
That's
Shout
what
out.
I thought that. Yeah.
Yeah. She could send me some free stuff if she wants. Would not hate that. But anyway,
so
she's in
funny.
Target now, which is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, and the planners that used to be really expensive by her, I think you can still get customized ones that are more expensive, but the same ones that are super cute are in Target usually. So I just got another one of those this year, but instead of doing, so last year I got just the monthly planner and then I had the notes, and that worked fine. But I realized if I just have the Day Designer, so I have like every day I can write notes, that's better for me. So I am just like, I have the ability to write down times and stuff, but more I'm just using it to write stuff down. I'm just like brain dumping in these little like daily squares that are behind the monthly calendar. So that's been really, really good for me, especially with all the moving and just different information.
Things to keep track
yes,
of. Yeah.
I've really liked that. 'Cause I am free spirited, and so I almost like the structure.
A little structure.
It's one thing in my life, yeah. I'm like,
so
oh,
funny.
it makes my brain happy.
Right?
So,
Do you, just out of curiosity, do you keep track of your schooling? Like, do you write down what you're working on each day?
No.
You just kind of wing it?
well, okay, so that goes back to the first part of that, what you were saying, how you do your homeschooling within your home. So for us, it goes back to living a simple life, and that goes all the way down into the curriculum. So I have a couple different curriculums, but they're all very easy. Like there are a ton of books within the book shark, but they're all literature books that I'm reading. And so they're just on our shelf, and then I pull the ones out. It's just very concise and very easy to just have my books like on one shelf. I grab them, we use them, we put them up. So it's not like I have to have a ton of resources for the curriculums that I'm using. And just keeping it simple. We're going to try out a co-op down here. And then the girls are in ballet. Zika is going to do gymnastics, and you just kind of keep it very simple. Just everything very, very simple. I'm not trying to overextend us. So yeah, that kind of answers that question, I think. My brain is like everywhere today. I don't know.
No, you're fine. Yeah. Yeah, well, and I think that's kind of the beauty of homeschooling, that was what attracted me to it, was having a slower paced childhood and not saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it is tempting, like when you're homeschooling, to say, like, oh, well, we have all this time. Like, we should do this and this and that. And I find if the kids and I are gone too many days, like away all day, we're all tired and they're cranky. And so they're, at least because my kids are a lot younger than yours, there is a need for that rhythm.
Well,
and routine.
Yes, and I agree. Two things on that. So my kids, we have not been consistent with our homeschooling. We've been kind of everywhere with it, and then there was basically all last year I didn't do anything. We literally unschooled. And it's, for me, my personality, I'm a 7 on the Enneagram, if any of you follow that. So I am very much I don't like being told what to do. It's hard for me to follow rules. I don't like breaking them, but it's just hard for me to like stay on track.
Right.
Like it's hard for me to be consistent. That's the right word there. It's very hard for me to be consistent. So for me, I needed something simple. I needed that. Open the book, tell me what to do. But like even today, my kids slept in because my son did gymnastics for the first time in a while, and he slept till like 10:30. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, it threw my whole day off. I'm like, oh crap,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it now. You know, I had to force myself. And in fact, we still have to do our reading tonight, which is fine. That's what's the beauty of homeschooling. But I needed something that I wasn't going to just like throw my hands up and go, this is too hard. I don't like it. And so, yeah just simple. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm, like I said, I'm the same way. I mean, with little kids and trying to homeschool a almost second grader, I guess she's going into second grade. I need easy and I need simple.
Yeah.
Nothing complicated. So yeah, I'm with you all the way on that.
So we'll just touch on this like here at the end, because I know you've got to go because we are running on Wi-Fi of a nomadic family. And so that's,
Oh my gosh.
that's slightly more difficult these days to record podcasts. So
Yes.
one last thing we want to touch on is what do our days look like right now? I know, Kate, we've talked about this recently, how you're, being the lifestyle that you guys, or having the lifestyle that you guys have, is it easy to find routine, or what does a typical day look like for you guys?
Yeah. Yes and no to the routine. We are setting our own routine because we aren't around family or friends really.
Yeah.
And so I am always trying to kind of fill in those gaps and keep us moving and out of the RV and seeing new things while also balancing that with a home routine.
Yeah.
Because our home may be small and on wheels, but my kids still need stability.
Right.
So there's still a need for naps and regular meals and homeschooling and just like snuggling and reading books. Yeah. So a typical day for us, it depends on if I drive my husband to work. If I don't take him to work, I don't have the car for the day.
Yeah. Yep.
So if we are without a vehicle, we keep it very simple and we make breakfast together and then we read for a little bit after breakfast. We start homeschooling. Somewhere in there, I will put the baby down for a late morning nap. And then in the afternoon, we pretty much play outside the entire time if the weather's good. Although it's been raining so much here lately that I've been going a little stir crazy, trying to keep them all happy and busy.
I understand that. You got the rain that Fort Worth had, or Texas had. Yeah, it rained for like 6 straight days. We moved in and it just ended yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so for us, our routine obviously was very disturbed the last few months with us trying to finish renovations of the house that we sold and then moving down here. This week really has been not a struggle. It's actually been quite easy. I think the kids and I both were craving routine very much, very, very much. So for us, a typical day this week, what it's looked like is I have been trying very hard to wake up early and at least get a cup of coffee in, check my emails, check Instagram, do things like that so I can give my attention to my kids when they wake up, get them breakfast. Start by around 9:30 is typically when I like to start, other than today, But do our work and then be done around lunch. I don't want to spend all day schooling, so get it done in a couple hours and then have lunch. And I've told the kids that if we consistently get our work done, we're going to start going to the pool in the afternoons. This week has been me just trying to get bills in order and things like that. And so,
well, you just moved. I mean, that's normal.
Unpack, put things away. So that's kind of what a day looks like for us. And then Thursdays are our off day. So our homeschool is only 4 day a week. And so
nice.
Thursdays are off, and that's going to be our co-op day or field trip day or pool all day.
Hey, I'm totally behind the pool all day. That sounds amazing.
That's one thing. Texas is hot, and apartment life is awesome. I'm loving it.
That's so great. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, I have a trash concierge. How's that for living?
And you're never going to leave.
Never. I'm never leaving this place. I have a key fob, and I'm feeling fine.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, I like it. Anyway, so yeah, if anyone listening has any questions that we just didn't touch on or have time to touch on, or this was kind of I wouldn't say a surface conversation, but it definitely, we're touching on a lot of different things. So if you have deeper questions for us, please don't hesitate to reach out on Instagram or give us a shout out. Well, don't do Facebook, because we really don't do Facebook.
Do we still have a Facebook?
We do. And I get on it. I try and check it. And then an email, we're getting better at getting, we'll email you back. We'll try. If it's not a couple days, just don't hold your breath.
We love you. We love you. We love you. We're trying. We're just two busy moms. We hope that this episode at least maybe made you feel less alone if you're trying to figure out your routines and get used to being back to school. And if you have awesome routines and you're totally killing it at the back to school routine, maybe you should send us your tips. So we would love that too.
Yes. I love it when moms will message us on Instagram that have homeschooled before. We got one recently, just encouraging us and saying, she's homeschooled all of her kids and we're doing a great job. So it's really nice to receive that feedback. And then also, if you're enjoying our podcast and you would not mind either sharing it with a friend or writing us a review on iTunes, because that helps other people find us, we would just really appreciate it. If it's a good review. If it's a bad review, then don't do it.
Email us your feedback.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening, and we will see you guys next time.